on episode 95 of I Know What You Watched Last Week. We will be continuing a rare trend of reviewing movies from 2024 and 2025, whereas usually we'd be reviewing movies about witches with 3 breasts, but you're just not getting that these days.
6 breasts.
6, even better.
Yeah,
Even
who
better.
could say no to 6-breasted witches?
I was sold at 3.
We didn't get any breasts in these movies, I don't believe.
No.
No.
Breast-free week.
Very woke.
Maybe that's the special.
So we started with one I think you were quite excited for.
Excited for? I'm not sure I was excited for any of these films, but...
Trap.
That was one I was most looking forward to watching.
Because you love Josh Hartnett, right?
Josh Hartnett, yeah. A bit of a horror legend, isn't he?
Then we continued the week with The Long Walk.
Yeah, Stephen King adaptation.
And finally, we saw Final Destination, Bloodlines.
Because this time it's a family.
Do you know what number that is?
6.
6.
Yeah. So what order have you put these modern movies in?
I'm gonna go with 3rd place to The Long Walk.
Okay.
2nd place to Trap. And 1st place to Final Destination.
I've gone 3rd place Trap, 2nd place The Long Walk, and top Final Destination Bloodlines. So we're going to go in my order.
What a surprise!
We're going to start with the movie from 2024, according to IMDb. I can't believe it's already that old, considering we're almost halfway through this year. And yeah, it's M.Night Shyamalan's...
Got there in the end.
Can never, no matter how long he's been around, I can never get his name right. It's his latest thing.
Yes.
And I thought it was just going to be, here we are in a concert arena. Something's going to go down in the concert arena and everything's going to be resolved in the concert arena.
I see what you're saying.
But I didn't get that.
Well, was that a disappointment?
That was highly disappointing to me, yeah.
But did you enjoy the concert arena bits?
No, I didn't.
Didn't think so.
So yeah, we've got Shyamalan directing, Josh Hartnett's in it, and we get opening credits with horrible music. Just horrible music which I decided to skip fast forward.
Well, the movie is called Trap.
And what are you saying? What does that mean about it?
Well, it's trap music, isn't it?
Is that so?
Yeah.
This is trap?
Yeah.
I've heard trap.
I'm pretty sure it's trap. If it isn't, he's certainly missed a trick, but I'm
Well,
pretty
like
sure
I said,
it's trap.
I did fast forward through it, so it could have trapified, certainly. Yeah, Josh Hartnett. He's playing a parent. Now I'm not
Daddy
used.
Hartnett.
I'm not used to Josh Hartnett playing a parent. I'm used to him being hip, funky, fresh. And I'm used to him being parented by Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween H20, or being a 17-year-old tearaway with no parents who makes friends with Frodo in The Faculty. Those were the days, weren't they?
Yeah.
Making friends with Frodo.
And also, Josh Hartnett does basically the exact same performance and everything, but it's enjoyable.
What?
So, yeah, don't you think?
Halloween H20, The Faculty.
They never change his look either.
40 days and 40 nights.
Yeah,
when he can't jizz him. But at the end, he gets, people would call it raped by a very beautiful woman. She takes his jizz. Doesn't quite make it.
But we're not talking about that film, John.
But we are talking about Josh Hartnett, though.
Yes.
And he's got a daughter, Riley.
Was very enjoyable.
Alright. He's got a daughter, Riley.
Yeah.
He's taken her to a concert to see the one and only Lady Raven. And Lady Raven is the music that we've heard at the beginning of this film as well, in the opening credits. And there's a really annoying bit, even more annoying than the actual music itself, is Riley singing along at the very beginning of the film, which is M.Night Shyamalan favourite, because he did it in The Visit. He's got a little rapping kid in that who he likes to focus on and just let him rap. This time we've got a little girl who can't sing.
I think that's the point. Do you ever get a
I don't need
scene
to
in a
see
movie when they're singing along to the radio where they're good?
I don't need to see it. Well, he's got someone in here who he thinks is good.
But we need to see how excited she is for this concert, like what a big deal it is.
If it couldn't get any better, when they arrive at the concert arena, they get in and there's instant TikTok dancing. And Riley joins in with the TikTok dancing and Josh Hartnett films it. Yeah! Everyone's having a good time. Pre-Lady Raven on stage.
I'm not having a good time. I hate these stupid choreographed
What, you don't love the TikTok culture, the TikTok generation, no?
I've
got mad love for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go into the concert now for the first time out of many, and Lady Raven comes out on stage. She says, "How you doing, my kings and queens?" You know, everyone's a king and queen these days, isn't they?
Kind of takes away any meaning then, doesn't it?
It does, and I mostly see the word king used in the manosphere. It's like, you know, don't let them bitches control you, kings.
I also
Don't
think
lick pussy, kings. You know, what's that about?
I wasn't
What?
expecting that in this review.
What is that about? That's the advice given to kings, apparently. That's what I've been
I
reading.
think it would have been way cooler if she'd been like, my kings, queens, and peasants.
You know, considering
'Cause
that
I would identify more
going
as a
down
peasant.
on a woman is one of life's few joys, what are they talking about? Maybe that's for another time.
Yeah, John's
So
delving
here's my
into the
my
manosphere.
kings and queens. All these kings and queens in the audience, they all start screaming. There's like loads of screaming little girls. You know, I'm not sure that I could do it. You know, if I had a daughter or a son who wanted to see some fanny music act, I couldn't go and take them. They probably know better from a younger age than to get into music like this, though.
You never know.
That's all I'm saying. I ain't going. You'll have to go. But when the music's this good, everyone gets their phone out.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking
There
at
was
themselves
a lot
into
of
the phone.
screen, wasn't
Everyone's
there?
filming. It's kind of soul destroying, isn't it?
But then we've seen that
What are they doing?
in practice, so it's
Yeah,
not
in real life.
unrealistic.
I spent a whole gig, Wembley Stadium, and this woman next to me. Considering this gig was about 7 hours long, she just sat there like this for 7 hours.
That's how you get full enjoyment of a gig. It's like you don't understand
And
concert
I
going.
really pissed her off without realising it at the time. So I turned to her, I said, "Are you going to film the whole thing, like just innocently?" And she was like, "Mm-hmm." Sorry.
Ruining her stream.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the movie. I believe she also goes straight in with a little dialogue about some sob story.
No, that's not yet, because first Josh Hartnett, he's in the arena, he's watching Lady Raven. Now he's like, uh-oh, I've got to go to the toilet. So he goes to the toilet and he looks at some video of some dude chained up in a room. And
Yeah.
he looks quite concerned.
Does he?
Meantime, armoured trucks and the FBI are arriving at the arena.
Yeah. Loads of police presence.
So now he's been in the arena gangways, he's been in the concert space, he's been into the toilet. Now he goes back into the gangway and he bumps into some annoying woman who is daughter, so let's just call her Julia, is daughter to Julia, and she's been excluding Riley or bullying her.
Daughter to Julia. Julia's her daughter.
Yeah, you know what I mean. She's been bullying, her daughter's been bullying Josh Hartnett's daughter, and he's not having any of it.
No.
So now that he's had that confrontation, he goes back into the concert arena and he says straight away, he's like, "Riley, Julia and her mum are here, but don't think about it."
Yeah,
It's
why
like,
would you even bring it up?
"By the way, daughter, two people that you absolutely hate are here, but just forget about it." Why would you do that? That's not good parenting, is it? She'd know better after being raised by Jamie Lee Curtis.
Maybe he's trying to stir up some shit.
In Halloween H20. Now it's time for the Lady Raven storytelling on stage, the sob story.
I don't even remember what the sob story was, but it's something about like, oh, my life was ruined because I didn't forgive someone. Now I've forgiven them and I'm free. So I want every one of you in the crowd to find it in your heart to forgive someone. And when you've done that, shine a light on your phone.
And Riley's one of the first ones to pop up.
I've forgiven.
She's forgiven her friend.
I'm a better person now.
She's forgiven her friend that's been bullying her, who was in the concert venue because her dad told her.
Is that what you think?
Even though he had no reason to.
Okay.
The place lights up with all these phones. No lighters though.
No.
It was way better when it was lighters. And she goes into a power ballad. And
Yeah.
it was at this point during the movie that I just went onto IMDb and I was like, who is this person who's playing
Well, you weren't concentrating fully.
the artist on
Yeah.
stage? It turns out it's M.Night Shyamalan's daughter. Were you aware of this?
No.
Just until now then. Mm-hmm. I found out halfway through the movie, and when she's on stage bantering, I'd already noted she has like no charisma as an on stage singer, entertainer. There's nothing there. This is shameless.
Phew! Jesus.
All her music is the same pedestrian swill that is out there already.
What, is
and
this
it's
her
clearly
music?
It's her music. So it's
Right.
clearly just M. Night Shyamalan saying, how can I pimp my daughter out to the highest bidding record company to give her a record deal? This is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to write a sloppy serial killer story around it just to fit my agenda. You know, he should change his name to M. Night Shameless Man. Because this is shameless. He's got no respect for his audience whatsoever. Because later on, after like two and a half acts in, he puts her centre stage. And she cannot act. She cannot act. To save her life. It's over.
I wasn't that bothered. I just assumed she was, a singer.
You're like the most critical out of all the acting, always.
I know. It wasn't good.
It's because you loved the music, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You've given her sympathy. Yeah.
And I love the little dancers.
When she's doing a piano ballad, Josh Hartnett, he notices the authorities running around in the crowd.
Yeah, he's always on the lookout,
and
isn't he?
At this point, are we still thinking Josh Hartnett's a good guy?
No.
No, so it's just instant.
This is the thing. I thought it was like as soon as we saw the video stream when he went to the bathroom, as soon as that was shown, I was like, oh, okay, so he's got some dude locked up. There was no part of me that was like, oh, he's a good guy.
I just thought that as a father at that point, he was, he's got into his phone and he clicked on the most trending thing possibly, and this was it. It was like some kind of joke.
I didn't feel that, because I swear there was like some kind of minimal interaction between them as well.
Was there?
I think so.
I was only noticing Josh Hartnett somewhat looking, I thought like concerned/confused by what he was looking at on his phone, rather than, oh, I've captured this fella.
I was getting captured straight away. So when at some point later on in the film you're like, oh, what's the twist going to be? And I was like, wait, there's a twist? I was like, are they somehow going to change it so that actually Josh Hartnett was a good
M.Night
guy the
Shyamalan.
whole time? But no.
So I was expecting a twist. I said to you, didn't I? When's the twist coming?
Yeah, I just thought you'd read something.
There is
and
no
you knew there was
twist.
a twist. Okay.
It's time to get out back into the concession stands and stuff. Josh Hartnett's daughter Riley, she wants a t-shirt, a tour t-shirt, but there's only one left in her size. And this other kind of bossy girl pops in. So no, I want a t-shirt as well. And Josh Hartnett says, Riley, just give it up to her. And the t-shirt seller, he's touched by this. He's like, you are good people. Normally, all these people are like rabid animals, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says, later on though, I'll probably get some more of these t-shirts in stock, so just come back and holler at me, dog. And because this t-shirt stand guy's done such a nice thing, Josh Hartnett goes to the side of the stand, pulls him aside, and starts saying to him, hey, what's with all the security around here? And t-shirt man's like, okay, but don't rat me out, even though I've only just met you.
Yeah.
But rumour has it, or not rumour has it, it's factual, that the butcher, whoever that is going to be here tonight. And this trap has been set, should I say, to catch him. This is a very strange interaction.
It is.
Camera's close on both of them. And is it at this point where I was like, Josh Hartnett's acting as a father is already like very corny. Now he just goes into zany, like ultra zany. And the expressions that he was giving when he was talking to this t-shirt man was, like a sex comedy. Like he was having a conversation in a sex comedy. I wrote down he'd be very good as like a sleaze.
Okay.
In a sex
well,
comedy.
I really enjoyed his performance throughout the film. I thought it was interesting to watch.
I was confused by it.
I think
because I'm not quite sure what direction M.Night Shyamalan was giving him. I'm not sure if he even cared, unless his daughter was on stage. So hurry up, Josh.
I was getting the feeling that, because obviously he clearly does genuinely love his daughter. That was made very clear. He is one of those people who can come across as super charming, but he is clearly a psychopath as well. So, like, we know why he's doing all this. He's also just supposed to be really smart, isn't he? Because he comes up with some, like, escape routes that shouldn't have happened.
Smart or just convenient for the script?
Well, that, very much so.
And you know how, obviously we're expecting a twist because this is an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Hey, you said it.
After that interaction where I see he starts acting zany, I was legitimately thinking, is Josh Hartnett's character a robot? That's what I thought the twist was. I was like, is the twist going to be that he's a robot? That's what I was getting from his acting. It reminded me of a robot. It's robotic parenting. This is Parenting 101 for the screen.
It's like an AI thing.
And then the interactions after this just go bizarre. Even the interaction between him and his daughter go like, a cyborg talking to the first humanoid it's ever seen.
Well, I was seeing it more as like it's some kind of personality disorder.
Okay. I wasn't. I was getting a robot. Josh Hartnett then pushes someone down the stairs slyly, like nudges them, and then roll down the stairs.
Super drunk girl,
And it's like, now let's get back to our seats, Riley. We've been in and out of the concert hall quite a lot already, and at this point I've written what direction is being given to Josh Hartnett here. Anyway, Lady Raven, everyone, she's back on the stage, and she says, everybody, scream, Parker! And if you scream loud enough, Parker might even show up on stage, Parker!
This was quite painful, actually, you're right.
Parker's here. So Lady Raven, I've written also here, has no charisma. Parker then, though, he comes out of the floor doing auto-tune, and he looks like a cocker spaniel.
You're not entirely wrong.
Everyone gets their phone out. Parker's here, the cocker spaniel.
I would pay to see a rapping cocker spaniel.
Because he's come out the floor, Josh Hartnett's noticed that there's a floor contraption which he can possibly get down into.
What was so great was that it was
fanny
literally
about.
right next to them.
He then says, this concert is crispy. There's been a talk about crispy before this. About crispy is a good thing.
How
but
old
extra fried isn't.
is his daughter supposed to be?
I'm guessing 14, 15.
Right, because she looked, like definitely mid-teens at least, if not older, but she was acting like 12, so I wasn't entirely sure.
With the introduction of Parker, that brings me to my question of the week, and this time it's not true or false, it's multiple question.
Oh my god.
Here's the question.
Are you ready?
How much Zans and lean do you have to do before you realise you're a fucking loser? A lot, B, not a lot.
I don't know what Zans and lean is.
I'm jonesing for lean.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Lean is purple drank.
Is
It's
it?
another name for purple drank.
And purple drank is...
Do you want to hit the question again?
Alcoholic?
How much Zans and lean do you have to do before you realise you're a fucking idiot? A lot, B, not a lot.
Go with A.
You are incorrect. It's B, not a lot, because if you're doing Zans and lean, then you are a loser. And...
Wait, Xanax.
Xanax, yeah. Zans and lean. And do you know how do you know that got to be the question of the week? I thought I'd look up who Parker was. And apparently he's a real rapper called Russ. R-U-S-S. So he's Russ the rapper. And on his Wikipedia page, he's got a controversy. I was like, oh, what's this controversy here? So I think you'll be interested, as I think the people out there will be very interested. On September 11th, 2017, after a show, Russ tweeted a picture depicting him in a shirt with writing on it that said, how much Zans and lean do you have to do before you realise you're a fucking loser? The tweet caused controversy and led to numerous responses from other music artists. Late Chicago rapper Fredo Santana, I think we all remember who he is, responded to the tweet stating, until I can stop thinking about my dead homies and the trauma I've been through in my life, that's when I'll stop. I don't quite understand. Does that mean that he's doing Zans and lean no matter what?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Following the controversy, the phrase "fuck Russ" became a commonly referenced phrase and meme. And on June 6, 2008, this is where it gets really juicy. After reports that rappers Lil Pump and J. Cole settled their issues in an interview, thank God, Lil Pump tweeted, "Me and J. Cole cool now, so now it's fuck Russ." And that's the history and the controversy of Parker, the Cocker Spaniel.
Right. And Zans and lean.
Zans and lean.
Now I know.
Now you know. Now we all know. So now that we've all learnt something, back in the movie, Josh Hartnett goes back to the t-shirt stand, talks to the t-shirt seller, and for some reason they've got to go down to the stock room to get a size. And Josh Hartnett's just like, yeah, I'll come with you. That's like saying, I'll have a pint, mate, and then just going behind the bar and just standing there until he gives it to you.
I've seen someone do that.
Just once. So Josh Hartnett has got access because he's been friendly with the t-shirt seller.
Yeah.
And they go down.
They're coup de la.
And yeah, they're coup de la. And Josh Hartnett just reaches up and takes the top box down easily. And the t-shirt seller, he's like, whoa, I can't believe you did that. You must be strong. It's another reason I thought you might be a robot, because he's got this superhuman strength.
But he's a firefighter.
Yeah, but are firefighters all that strong?
Probably not all, but, maybe this guy
Is
not only
M. Night
takes his parenting
Shyamalan trying to
seriously,
destroy
but...
Josh Hartnett's career with this direction and this performance? That's what I was thinking.
Why would you do that? You think he's got some sort of personal vendetta against Josh Hartnett?
I think he's got him in a movie where he doesn't give a shit about the movie because his daughter's on stage and she needs a record deal.
Right.
That's what I think.
Well, I would watch Josh Hartnett again. So it hasn't ruined it
This
for
movie
me.
doesn't deserve Josh Hartnett. T-shirt selling man, he's got some evidence on his phone. He's like, yo, the butcher. I know something about the butcher because my mate was jogging across this bridge and he took this video. Here, have a look. So Josh Hartnett has a look. And because he's been in close contact with a t-shirt seller, as he leaves the room, he's got his access key card. So now he's got access around, and to use his access to go through a door, and he mingles with some FBI SWAT team who are having their like pep talk.
Yeah.
He just goes all in between them. He's like, oh, excuse me, I'm just going to get some coffee. Walks out again. All of a sudden he's got a police radio now.
Yeah.
Because all he's got to do is walk amongst people. And he has all the technology to his hand now.
Yeah, he's like...
it's very handy.
One of Fagin's little boys.
Who's Oh, right, Oliver Twist. Right. He is like that.
Yeah.
After grabbing these items, like a computer game, he's back in the concert hall, and he's also got an earpiece, so he can hear everything that the police are saying. And he's like, all of a sudden, he's like, oh shoot, I left my wallet. So he's only just got back like 30 seconds ago, and all of a sudden Riley's noticing. She's like, Dad, you keep leaving, and then coming back and leaving and coming back. That's all that's happened. He's like, well, if I get lost, just meet me at the orange drink stand, not purple drank. He's now back. He's now back into the arena, walking around like listening to the cops. And this is when he puts his plan into motion. And the first thing that he does, he goes to a fast food stand, turns up their oil, and puts some glass in it.
Yeah.
The deep frying oil.
Yeah.
There's going to be a twist. Where's the twist? The glass goes off. He grabs an apron. And then he goes to the roof and he acts scared and zany in front of some other SWAT team cops up there.
Yeah, because he's
Very
just
zany.
seen his colleague get blown to pieces with his trap.
Everything's really nice now because now, fortunately for him, even though this is an arena that holds about 17,000 people, he just keeps luckily bumping into Riley in the corridors. And it's good times for her now because she's made friends with the two girls next to her. She doesn't need Julia anymore.
No.
Now she doesn't care that she's
Well, music
here.
brings people together.
And because the happy times keep happening, she also lets her dad know, I hope that I get picked for so-and-so's song, because then I'll get to go backstage. And Josh Hartnett's like, backstage, you Shay. I'll be right back. So he leaves. He leaves again, but this time just walks like a few rows up from where he's sitting. And who's he bump into? Luck would have it, M.Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
And M.Night Shyamalan, I think, is like part of Lady Raven's like security detail or something like that. So Josh Hartnett says to him, hey, my daughter's here. She had leukemia. Sorry to drop that on you. And like Shyamalan's like, hey, what seats you in? And Bob's your uncle. She's going to be on stage. She's going to be the dreamer girl. And now she gets on stage and it's more sick dancing.
Oh, that was so painful.
It's cool.
Absolutely awful.
She's going to get a deal.
There were a lot of things, like you mentioned, that wasn't just done so that the story could move in the way it was supposed to. And I completely think that. But I think this might
From
be
second one.
the most clear example of this. Like his quick fingers and stuff, stealing stuff, that's nothing compared to him just wandering a few rows back and the guy who happens to be able to choose who's going up on stage is there. And he knows it as well. How did he know who to ask? It was just so convenient.
This is the strange and confusing world of M. Night Shyamalan. Remember when he was introduced, who is M. Night Shyamalan? When he's like walking off into a forest.
No, I don't remember that.
That was pretty cool. After Josh Hartnett and his daughter get on stage, they're just kind of like dicking around backstage while some other rapper walks on with like a blonde wig. And people just seem to be collapsing from asthma. Why does one girl collapse? She's on the floor. And then Lady Raven seems to suffer from an attack of asthma. And then it's never revisited again. And then, at this point, I'm still thinking, oh, maybe he's like a cyborg that is made... I'm not joking. I was like, maybe he's now like delivered some kind of gas in the air because he's a cyborg and they've all started to collapse.
I love that I was sat next to you whilst we were watching this and this is going through your head. There's no way I would have ever guessed that you were talking thinking cyborg and gas.
Has Lady Raven been sent back in time to save the future, is what I was thinking. Is Linda Hammond going to show up? So yeah, people collapsing from asthma, it seems. I'm still thinking that Josh Hartnett's possibly a robot, very possibly a robot. Blonde wig singer's now on stage, and Josh Hartnett and his daughter, they're boogieing. They're really getting down. Josh Hartnett's getting down. Josh Hartnett notices another member of the security detail. He's like, hey, when this is over, can me and my daughter just go out the back, even though this is a trap to catch the butcher.
And everyone who's working there knows it. I mean, if the t-shirt salesman guy knows it, then everyone who's working there knows it.
But she's like, yeah, sure.
And the whole time, because Josh Hartnett managed to steal that earpiece radio thing,
convenient,
we've been hearing from the FBI profiler who's leading this whole shindig.
Well, that 90-year-old lady.
Yeah.
She should have been at least 30 years retired. That was the most unrealistic casting ever. No wonder Josh Hartnett's bested her.
We've been hearing the details of who the guy could be, and essentially the butcher could just be just an adult male. It's that nondescript.
And if they know so little about him, how do they know that the butcher's going to be at the Lady Raven concert tonight? Was that just something that was just glossed over?
No, that was all explained at the end of the movie.
Oh, that's probably when I stopped listening.
Yeah, there was a lot of dialogue
I
towards
just
it,
had enough of
wasn't there?
Lady Raven. I hope she wasn't going to burst out into song again. So of course they go backstage, and they're told, oh yeah, you can leave out here, but before you leave, there's going to be just a very small police check. So Josh Hartnett sees this, and he kind of bails, and then we see Lady Raven talking to the head FBI lady. So this is not a need to know basis. She can just know everything, as the FBI do.
So can the t-shirts.
Then Lady Raven starts talking to Riley, and Josh Hartnett's like, oh, let me just talk to you a minute, Lady Raven. Takes her aside and gives her a talk about carbon monoxide, where he admits that he's the butcher.
Oh, right, yeah. That's it. So he gets that video up that we saw him
Yes,
checking out
as a bribe.
before, and he's like, oh, if you don't go along with what I'm about to tell you, then I can just press a button on my phone and within 5 seconds this guy's going to be dead, and
So
it's
you know
your fault.
how you said he's really smart? Has he made this contraption where we can release gas through a mobile phone in a room which I assume is about 3-4 miles away at least?
Yeah, he's like
Jigsaw.
he is exactly like Jigsaw, but with a family.
He invented that though. Gas releasing mobile phone.
I guess.
Maybe that's the next step. Maybe that's what the next iPhone should have, because it hasn't really updated the technology, has it? It just gives you the same thing again, but a little bit faster or whatever.
I mean, the whole thing is quite impressive. He can also do like telecom communication through his phone. It's very up to date. Yeah, he is Jigsaw essentially.
Now that he's spooked Lady Raven, who is admitting that he's the butcher, she's to walk him out. So she goes out back into the tunnel. She's like, "Oh, Josh Hartnett and his daughter Riley's going to come with me."
Yeah.
And they, old FBI lady, she's standing out the entrance, just like looking left and right as people just leave.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, put her to bed. Like,
So
she's been through enough. Get into Lady Raven's car, and she's, "Oh, I'll drop you off at your house." But instead, Lady Raven starts fucking with Josh Hartnett's plan. She's like, "Actually, I'd love to come to your house, Riley. Me, Lady Raven, can you believe it?" And it's like an OMG moment for Riley.
Yeah.
Very smart from Lady Raven, because now she gets to go into the household, and she's like sitting around in the living room with the family, and she's kind of like half saying that, yeah, the butcher is Josh Hartnett, the bloke that's sitting right here. What do you all think about the butcher?
Yeah. And considering the, I guess somewhat twist that comes at the end with all the explanation that you probably missed, the wife is acting very much like, why the hell is Lady Raven talking to me about the butcher?
Well, I thought she was more like, oh, this is Lady Raven, I was going to let her talk about what she wants to talk about because she's a celebrity.
Yeah, but she's very clearly just like confused as to why she's even brought it up. She's like, yes, I know who the butcher is. Why are you talking to me about this?
Lady Raven, she's already invited herself around the house, which isn't very polite. Now she's like, oh, I'm just going to play a song on your piano. Gets on the piano, and then we've got to sit through piano ballading again. And she managed to steal Josh Hartnett's phone, run into the bathroom and lock herself in there. I think she got 3 mobile phones, and what do you do when you're in trouble? You get onto TikTok and let your followers know. Don't call the police.
It's true, but because she's so famous and she's got so many followers, they're able to locate and free the guy that he had chained in a basement.
Also, where's Lady Raven's driver for all this? He's just parked outside. Can he not hear Josh Hartnett like banging on the door?
No, it's like Die Hard with the guy who's just like chilling in the limousine. But yeah, so her followers managed to find and free the guy. By this point, Josh Hartnett, it seems, has actually admitted to everyone, yes, I am the butcher and I'm going to get you...
Well, he gets into the bathroom, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I'm saying, where's the driver? Because he's the last part of security, so why is he letting just 2 random people get in there and drop him off at a random house as well? You know, this is M.Night Shyamalan for you.
He's doing what he's paid to do.
Now that Josh Hartnett's going to like wander off now with Lady Raven, because he's broken into the bathroom, he says to her, I'm going to put my finger on your shoulder and it will not come off you for the rest of your days. And he goes down to the garage and he puts her in the car and takes his finger off her. Why even have that in the movie?
I don't know.
I'm going to put my finger on your shoulder. And then he gets into the car, and this is where I was confused again, because all of a sudden Lady Raven starts trying to, psychologically manipulate him. She's like, you're not a bad person. Something around that.
She's pretending to be his mum.
Monsters aren't real. And then Josh is like, monsters are real, I'm a monster. And she's like, you don't have to be.
Yeah.
It's epic acting.
It was very bizarre. So he's had a
Remember,
troubled childhood.
Enough of this foolishness.
That was it, because she's all up to date on the profiling that this...
Oh, so that's why she's talking to the geriatric
so
FBI
she's up to date
agent.
on the profile of the guy, and she knows that he had a troubled childhood and that he was punished a lot, etc. And so she's like trying to pretend.
Why would Lady Raven need to know this? Should be on a need to know basis. Why would she want to know more about?
That she's you know, she's pretending to be the mum and like make him see the error of his
See,
ways.
the problem is this movie is so brain dead. It's just checked out. I can't.
And then he's saying, you know, no, I am bad, and once I've offed you, I'm gonna end it. So I guess that's like, I assumed he meant end himself.
It doesn't even say to her, like, you're not my mother.
Yeah, he's
Something
like, you
along
can't
those lines.
outsmart me, I know what you're trying to do.
They're about to leave, and as the garage door opens, Josh Hartnett's family just standing on the lawn.
Yeah, where would they?
And where's the driver? Because now he's sitting in the car and you can see that his family just lined up on the lawn. He's just decided to ignore that as well.
Yeah,
in his house where Lady Raven is. You know, that's his money right there. He hasn't got a job about Lady Raven, has he? Lady Raven gets out the car, joins Josh Hartnett's family. She gets into her limo. Josh Hartnett is now stuck in the house because the FBI have arrived. But it's okay because the FBI go in there. Josh Hartnett escapes down a hatch. And when he comes back up, he's got a SWAT team uniform on. And he manages to get into the limo.
Oh, God.
And he handcuffs Lady Raven to the limo and he drives into New York City.
That was so dumb.
/ Canada.
And also that she didn't instantly, as soon as he got in the front seat, like, why is some SWAT guy... Again, where is the driver? Why has he been sent away and some SWAT guy's driving her instead? Like, that makes no sense.
Now you've got a problem with it not making sense. I mean, inconceivable.
Johnny, I didn't say this was a good movie.
It's a whole new definition.
I would never watch it again either.
It's a whole new definition.
I didn't put it first.
No, if the movie's not inconceivable enough already, the car gets swamped in town by Lady Raven fans and she undoes the window and is like, help me.
Help me.
And they don't really help her. Instead, she has to kind of like break the thing that she's cuffed to. She manages, I think, to free herself, and then Josh Hartnett just gets out the front door of the limo and walks into town.
Yeah.
Through the crowd. No one's noticed him. He takes to the streets. Now, old FBI lady, she's talking to Josh Hartnett's wife. Very quickly, it's nighttime, she's making tea, and Josh Hartnett is sitting at the table. So if the FBI are waiting outside her house, how's he managed to get in now as well?
He's that good.
He's sitting there while she's making tea, like I said, and they get this kind of like dialogue like, oh, keeping separate lives was very hard. And they have a long conversation about how she knew and that he's not alright, but don't worry, it's time for cake. Angry cake. He's angry and not being able to see his kids anymore. And I've written, this is very bizarre. He then takes his top off and his mum shows in the distance. I believe it's his mum, in his vision anyway.
Yeah.
But no, it's actually FBI people, and they all taser him. It takes a lot of tasers to take
down
Josh
a lot. You're actually
Hartnett.
right, this was a bit like a robot, because why did it take this long to tase someone?
See? Robot. It was a lot of tasering. No man could survive that much tasering. And he also manages to gouge out the eyes of one of the of the SWAT team, because this is a horror movie, let's not forget. Apparently, that's what it was sold as, somewhat.
Well, he is a Jigsaw type, we just don't see any of that. So, I kind of,
After he's now...
horror. But I was going to say, because you asked before, how do they know that the butcher is at the concert?
Mm-hmm.
It's what the wife explains. She says, I followed you to one of your, safe houses or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And even though no one was there, I ripped off part of the receipt for the, gig and left it there as evidence and then called the police, so they found it. And that's how they knew that it was going to be there. So she set it all up.
You have just jogged my memory, but it's not like, oh yeah, I now vaguely remember that now, yeah. But it wasn't hitting me as like, oh, it's just another stupid.
There was just so much
setup.
talk that it was a bit,
The conversation between them was strange.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense in terms of the movie whatsoever. Like the
wasn't
rest of it
clear.
didn't make sense to each other. So anyway, now he's just gouged out someone's eyes, and we already know that he's a serial killer. He's even got a name, The Butcher. He's arrested. As he's taken outside, he's got a top back on. So even though he's this dangerous, he's like, can I just put my shirt back on? They're like, yeah, put your shirt back on. That would never happen.
Decency. Walks
into his front garden. He notices a pink bicycle. He goes, hang on a minute. Let me just say goodbye to this child's bike. And he kneels down. They're all like, yeah, they'll back off him. And he's touching the bike. I'm like, oh, well, what's going to happen? Riley runs up to him. She manages to hug him. And then he's put in the back of the police van. And I wouldn't believe it. He's got a spoke from the bike wheel. And he undoes his cuffs and then does some maniacal laughing, which I thought was really good, his maniacal laughing.
Yeah, I think maybe that's
Superb.
the thing that stuck with me, is saying that I liked his performance, because it was that end, his naughty laugh look that I really enjoyed.
He certainly looked psychotic during that. The rest of it, he looked like a robot to me. So now I know that it's not a robot at the end.
You could say that about certain psychopaths, couldn't you? They are a bit like robots.
Yeah, but I thought he was like a real robot. I thought his skin might come off and there'll be an exoskeleton underneath.
But also, the thing that kind of made me giggle at the end was realising that the whole time, like, we know how much he loves Riley.
Yeah.
But then it turns out he's got a little son as well. But he might as well not
doesn't give a
exist
shit
for the
about
way
his
that
son.
they're acting. And even when, I swear he says something along the lines of, I'm angry because I'll never see my daughter again.
No, he definitely mentions them
you
both.
have a son. Well, it might not have been that exact moment, but he did something along those lines of, like, basically, I don't care, I've got a son.
Maybe his son's a little shit. Like I said, this takes Inconceivable to a whole new level. Uwe Boll would scream at this narrative help that is given all throughout the film. It's just stupid. And then M. Night Shyamalan has zero respect for his audience. This is shameless. This is an advert for his daughter. That's what it is. And the movie wasn't good enough to look away from that.
I just was so enjoying seeing Josh Hartnett again.
I only gave this a chance because pretty much after The Sixth Sense, I watched his second movie. I was like, oh, that was a load of bollocks when I was still young. And it got to The Visit, and I thought, oh, I'll give The Visit a go on stream. So it took me that long to revisit M. Night Shyamalan. I thought, oh, Visit was pretty good. Then I watched Old. Now I've seen this. I'm not giving him any more chances for a while again, I don't think.
Okay, time out on Shyamalan.
Moving on to number 2 then. My number 2, your bottom pick. Long Walk, Stephen King adaptation.
Yeah. This, I can imagine, I haven't read the book, but I can imagine that this would be a very interesting book and entertaining in its own way, but it does not work as a film. It's one of those stories where you have to get into the thoughts and the feelings, and you can't portray that very well on a film. They have a lot of dialogue.
Even when it's almost 2 hours long.
They have a lot of dialogue, but it's not the same. Because there's not much actual cinematic action. So it could work as a book, but it's just, I don't understand why they even bothered trying to make this a film.
Are you saying that overall Hollywood hasn't quite managed to adapt Stephen King's works into good cinematic viewing?
I would say this is certainly one of the worst attempts, and it was probably because of the...
One of the worst?
I think so. Yeah, there was nothing about this that was, like, done badly. But I just think with the material, unless he wanted to change it up completely, there wasn't enough happening for it to be a good film. I mean, surely this review will take like 2 seconds because
No.
they walk.
Well, yeah, it does what it says on the tin. It is The Long Walk. That's what we get. We've got a main character, Garrity. I think his first name is like Roy, but everyone calls him Garrity. We've got a sweary Chinaman called Olsen, and then we've got Pete and Art. They're kind of like our main 4 who are walking. Barkovich, who's a bit of a bully. Stebbins, who's the one that comes third to last. Yeah, so we've got a few people, more than a few people. And we've also got the Major, played by Mark Hamill of Star Wars fame. Terrific voice actor, does a great voice in this as the Major. And the winner of The Long Walk, the last man standing, will win untold riches and will also gain 1 wish from a genie, I suppose. The movie's told like mile 1, mile 3, 7, 125, so forth. And the first bit of kind of like dialogue I took notice of was Garrity saying that rich men don't enter the kingdom of heaven and people who have money don't do any good with it, essentially. And then Peter says, that's exactly why I want to win the money, because I'm going to do good things with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both good guys in their own way. That's made quite clear. But I don't really get it because they did a very brief introduction about how, the country is in economic failure and all these
recession.
issues. So, like, life's really bad. And I was very much getting Hunger Games vibes. I volunteer. That's what I was getting, except that the walk is a bit less visually entertaining than the games.
Also, for economic depression, everyone seems pretty well fed and worked out for the most part.
And also, if they're saying, like, we've got untold riches as prize money, then, wouldn't people just be like, well, instead of killing off our next generation, why don't you just spread that money out a bit?
No, this is dystopian. Can't be doing dumb stuff like that.
Well, there wouldn't be a movie, would there? Because there'd be no walk.
There's a young kid. He doesn't look old enough to be on the walk. They question his age and stuff at the beginning. It's like, are you even 16 years old? He gets Charlie Horse. What's Charlie Horse? Extreme cramp. Like I said, he's a young'un. We think, oh, surely he's going to make it at least part of the way through the movie. He's going to have a more emotional death. But no, he's blasted through the head because he can't recover from his Charlie Horse. And the head shooting's really good in this movie. Mm-hmm. At least it's graphic. It's graphic head shooting.
Oh, there's a lot of graphic stuff, which, I mean, they had to do, thank God, because that was the only action happening.
When he dies, we get The Long Walk. You know, oh,
Yeah,
you're
after a
taken by
really long intro.
surprise. Taken by surprise there. One of our comrades has fallen. Celebrate his bravery. You're goddamn right, is what like the major starts shouting from like his tank or his army truck, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I also wasn't really getting the feeling from any of the participants that they know that they're pretty much all of them are going to die. It felt a lot more relaxed than that.
Well, this script had a distinct whiff of cheese about it, and it gets into the cheese pretty quickly. Just from mile 17, they're starting to bond hard because Garrity, he's talking about his family life or something like this, and Peter's like, "You keep talking like that, and I'll never tire." It's like it's pretty much that, isn't it? It's cheese. This is so cheesy. I couldn't believe it. I read a review where someone was like, I was in tears because of the emotional cost. Like, no, this is about as cheesy as it gets. This is probably the cheesiest script I've ever seen. You could even say the It TV movie, where you got the whole "Hi ho silver, Hawaii." It has little cheesy bits in it as well. This takes it to a whole new level. Pretty much throughout.
Cheesy is
Pete's
in the last
journey.
few years. I feel like cheesy is everywhere. You just can't escape it. Every movie has to have its cheese, and I just don't get it. Like, not every movie has to be Gorgonzola.
You know, Peter's got the spirit. And after he says, you know, if you have all this kind of talk to me, I'll never tire, he then says, true friendship is better than no friendship at all. You know what we are? We're the Musketeers. All for one and one for all.
So
I mean,
Stephen King, isn't it?
This is cheese.
That is Stephen King, though. I bet that's in the book.
Yeah, but I read, was this supposed to have been set again like, in the 50s?
Yeah.
No, apparently it said, late 70s, early 80s. I was not getting that whatsoever.
No, not particularly.
No. And I think it's the guy called Barkovich, upon hearing this, he turns around and goes, "You guys sound like a bunch of queers." And then Pete's like, "You want to suck this dick?" So even though Pete's got the joy in him, and he's supposed to be, you know, let's live and prosper,
Yippee!
as soon as someone does just something a little bit wrong, he wants to see their brains splattered on the floor. That is quite liberal, actually, isn't it?
He's
modern day
just
liberalism,
really
that is.
extreme in his emotions. What I found really weird, so I said already that it didn't seem like they were going into this as if like, oh, we're probably going to die after a long, painful walk. But they also seem to be just doing the worst thing ever, because if you're going to be walking and walking and walking, wouldn't you, one, conserve your energy and not just be chatting all the time?
Well, right, okay.
You're losing loads of fluids as well. It just seems like a bad idea. And then secondly...
Yeah, but you've got to make friends, like, Pete says.
Yeah, we need to be friends. You know, even a couple of hours of friendship is better than none. And I'm like, well, I disagree, because if all these people are going to die, then what is the point?
Well, you're ruthless.
I just didn't get it. And again, I'm sure in the book it would be delved into deeper and give you more of an explanation. It's
mile 25 now, and it opens with some minor piano, so I reckon there's going to be some sad times ahead. The guy Olsen... he's got cramp now, because you're thinking on a walk, what can really go wrong with you? You can twist your ankle, you can get cramp, shoes can fall apart.
You need to shit.
Yeah, you need to have a dump. At one point, I thought this was executive produced by Tom Six. There's so much poopy in it. You know, you have just noticed about expending energy by talking too much. It's mostly Pete that's insisting that everyone talk and make friends. But as soon as he's asked a question by, I think, Garrity, he's like, hey, what's that scar on your neck? He's like, we're not talking about that. Let's just be quiet for a minute. You know?
Yeah.
Everyone's got like their pack. So they've got water on them or whatever. But I've seen Olsen, he's eating something which is like an energy bar or whatever. And for some reason he can't eat other food. He drops his energy bar on the floor. And Garrity, being the kind-hearted, big-hearted guy he is, he gives him his energy bar. He gives the energy bar to Olsen.
It looked bloody tiny.
It's more bonding. Yeah, well, they're going to be given rations. This is like a military exercise almost, isn't it?
But this is the thing. I was like, so they've got these packs. All of them have got, well, they're not all this. They brought their own bags because some guys are wearing satchels and stuff, which seems like, again, a really dumb idea. But what is in there? Because they haven't got, like, toilet paper on them, from the looks of things. They've got one little water bottle, some snacks, but considering they get to be topped up when they ask for it, like, what's the point of carrying it all?
A concern when I'm just really thinking about living.
Well, I came up with a solution of just,
nappies.
You know, putting a nappy or like a bag to your butthole or something, so that at least it's not going down your legs, because that would just be uncomfortable. And then you can just get rid of it without breaking your stride.
There's a character called Rank, and Barkovich starts teasing him because his name is Rank. And he teases him so much that Rank like takes swings at him and stuff like that. He gets warnings, and he takes his last swing at him after Barkovich insults his mother. and he falls to the gravel, somehow managed to slide
I've
all the
never
way
seen
across
that
it
in my
like
life.
it's an ice hockey rink or something.
Yeah.
And that's the end of him.
I don't know how the hell they thought that happened. But now also the guy, did you say Barkovich, is the twatty guy who made it happen? He's all of a sudden, he's like, oh shit, man. Like, I didn't think that was going to happen. And every time someone's like, oh, you killed him, he's like, no, don't say that. I didn't kill him.
Well, yeah, how did he know that was going to happen? It's not, you know, he didn't know the road was that slippy. All the lads are blaming Barkovich for getting rank shot dead. And Pete, who's supposed to be somewhat the moral centre of the story, once again he's like, I can't wait to see your brains all over the tarmac, Barkovich. Yeah. What is he? Because later on he's also like, vengeance isn't enough in one of his speeches. And yet here he is, wishing someone dead. And he didn't flat out kill him. He was teasing him.
Yeah, but I guess if he hadn't been teasing him, it wouldn't have happened. But I do see what you're saying.
Okay, fair enough. Then a guy gets diarrhea, shits himself and gets shot in the head. That happens a lot in this film. Mile 35 now. Garrity's having a bit of a vision. He's seen his mum, Judy Greer, and she's singing a lullaby to him. Then we're out of the vision. He's back next to Pete. Pete's like, tell me what you're thinking of. He's like, oh, I just had a vision of my mum singing me a lullaby. And Pete's like, well now, that's the kind of stuff that's gonna get us through. Tell me about your mum.
Yeah.
And by the way, they're really walking now, like, the camera's like tight, and they're like, I'm gonna tell you about my mom. We're gonna keep going. One foot in front of the other. I mean, they're really walking. You know, they're really moving. They're pumped. So I guess how do you up the ante cinematography?
Garrity reminded me of one of my sister's exes the whole time as well, and it was really bizarre.
If the cheese wasn't enough, it's like, you got a girl, Ray. Ray's Garrity. He's like, I had a girl. I broke up with her just before I started this. And Pete's like, Darren's probably smart. He's like, how about you, Pete? You got yourself a girl? He's like, no girl for me. You whiffing that, bro? We're only on mile 35. All of a sudden, Barkovich is starting to really get to Garrity, and Garrity snaps, and he even has to go at Peter. He's like, look, don't pretend that you don't want to see my brain spattered all over the tarmac as well, because, you know, there can only be one survivor, but there's no way that the whole-eyed Pete is going to let this friendship deteriorate, because it's important. Every moment is important in this film. So then you get the old, like, sorry, I snapped at you back there, Pete. He's like, don't sweat it. No, man, I really shouldn't. Jesus Christ! Someone gave this 100 out of 100 in the mainstream critics. It's the perfect film.
Wow. Okay.
And it also got, don't worry about it. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. You know, encouragement.
Yeah.
Sticking together. And if that wasn't enough, Garrity then asks about the rest of the Musketeers. How are the Musketeers? Don't you worry about the Musketeers. They're doing all right. And if that wasn't enough, one of them then says, you got this. And I thought you got this is more of a modern vernacular.
I'm sure it was around in the 80s.
Yeah, but you can tell that they've not thought about that. They just put it in because it's in their head now.
Well,
Happens
also,
a lot in modern day movies, doesn't it?
You know, Peter's not only dragging along Garrity, who, by the way, keeps taking naps on him. It wasn't a vision, it was a dream. He's just napping on his mate. Peter doesn't nap. He's dragging along Garrity, and he's got an eye on all the other Musketeers. It's like he's a robot.
Yeah, is he D'Artagnan? Is that the leader of the Musketeers?
Yeah.
100 miles in now, and one of them decides, I don't know if I'm going to run for it. He just comes off the road. He's not allowed to come off the road, and he tries to run to a store, but he's blown away. Mile 103, they're talking about their wishes, because obviously, apart from the riches that are bestowed upon you as a winner, you also get one wish from a genie. And Olsen, he says that his wish would be 10 naked ladies. That's a good wish, but I'm also thinking you're going to be showered with riches. There'll be loads of women willing to get naked for you, but I do like his thinking, though.
Of course you do.
I do like his thinking.
All of the dreams are kind of dumb, especially ones they said people had already asked for in the past. Like someone asked for an elephant. It's like,
yeah,
that's really
that's
dumb.
like The Simpsons.
Oh, and
Bart gets an elephant.
One of them wants to go to the moon.
Yeah, Art wants to go to the moon.
That's, to me, that's silly too. But, you know, I guess that's more of a personal thing.
This is 1982, between 1979 and 1982, so it's right on, it's just after the moon landings happened, isn't it? See, this is why I thought this movie was in, like, you know, the 50s or whatever. People had already been to the moon ages ago. Art, why do you want to go to the moon?
It takes ages out of your life. You're just stuck in some tube,
Yeah, there's
eating
nothing
shit
to do.
food, and then losing your muscle mass.
So that's Art's wish. So we got an elephant, we got a space rocket ride.
10 naked ladies.
Of course, 10 naked ladies. Now that's Pete's wish. What does Pete wish for? Well, shucks. I would wish that the long walk could have 2 winners, so then friends could win. Are they serious?
I mean, in a way, you know, that means one extra person doesn't have to die. But equally, if you could change the rules like that, then couldn't you just say, well, I wish the long walk never happened?
No, there are always caveats to it, aren't there? Yeah. Gary, though, he's impressed with that wish. He's like, wow, that's beautiful, man. It is beautiful, isn't it? For friendship. Then it's time, you know, for... There's hope again. There's defiance. Fuck the walk! Fuck the major! Everyone's joining in, apart from, like, Stebbins. He's reluctant to join in. But eventually he cracks a smile, doesn't he? It's like, he's broken. The spirit is broken in him. The joy. The spirit of joy. The spirit of giving.
We got spirit.
Has broken. Pete's got spirit, certainly. It's defiance, man, against the oppressive regime. Mile 144, day 3. Time to play catch. It's like The Room. That's really is expending energy, isn't it? That's not
so
keeping you
dumb.
awake. That's just wasting
it's
energy.
Some special ball for this guy. It's like the last thing he touched before his dad was killed or something like that. So it's a special ball. And he's like, oh, let's play catch, but don't drop it. Because obviously if they drop it, they can't stop and pick it up. Or they get shot.
The emotional stakes continue to rise
So
now.
was that a good idea?
Just said, was that a good idea?
So was that a good idea?
The emotional stakes continue to rise though, because now Art takes a dump. And we get to see it in all its glory. Once again, Tom Six. Is he exec producing this? And then once he's finished his dump, Art, he's just done it in time because everyone gets a warning. If they slow down below 3 miles per hour, or if they stop still, you get warning number 154, whatever. Warning number 2, and then if it's much longer after that, you get blown away in the head. So he's taking this shit to the last second, and he starts running, pulling his trousers up. And as he catches back up to Pete and Garrity, he says, most fellas, they crap once a week. I gotta do it at least once a day. Like, how stuffed up are these fellas that he's been hanging around with? And more importantly, what's he been eating to keep him regular? Maybe prunes.
Well, this is, you know, economic hardship, so you don't know. You don't know what people are eating.
After this pooping, Olsen perks up a little bit. He's like, there are 3 great joys in this world. A good meal, a good screw, and a good shit. This is the 10 naked ladies fella. You know, he's simplifying things, isn't he? But it's not going to long.
He's got a nice life philosophy.
This friendship thing isn't going to last long for Art though, because Pete's like, you stink, by the way. I know you didn't get a chance to wipe, but can you take your stinky ass at least 2 miles that way? And he's out the friend group now, in that way.
See, if he'd have packed toilet paper and some hand sanitizer, then he could have just cleaned himself up on the way.
Was Art planting something in the plot there by saying, you know, most guys can go without pooping for a week? It hasn't been evident in this movie, by the way. Everyone's shitting everywhere. But as far as I'm aware, Garrity and Pete haven't taken a dump yet.
That's what it takes. Friendship.
So that's why they managed to make it to the end, because they didn't have to take a shit.
Stuffed up colon.
Yeah. Garrity now, he's got a confession for Pete, and he can't tell anyone. Apparently his dad was uninhibited, and he taught him things that he wasn't allowed to learn, like music and all the arts and things like that. Because again, it's a suppressive, oppressive regime. And then we're shown his daddy taken away one night. Judy Greer's there. She's in distress. So the major takes his dad outside, he gets on his knees, he says, like, you can either confess what you've done and join the oppressive regime or whatever, or dishonour yourself and your son and not join our regime and, you know, stick to your guns. And of course he does that. He's blown away, not before he tells his son, you know, never forget who you are. So the major has killed Garrity's dad. So then Garrity's like, I'm going to kill the major. If I win this thing, I'm going to ask for his gun. He's going to give it to me. Then I'm going to blow him away.
Yeah.
Pete's not happy with this, though.
I also thought his dad's decision was a bit dumb. Because, like, they're just words. Just say the words so that you can continue being a father to your son. And just, you know, you don't have to actually follow it.
Garrity's got the same idea now. He said, yeah, I'm going to kill that person. Pete's not happy about it. He says, oh, well, why are you choosing hate? This is the guy that wants to see Berkovich's brains on the tarmac, by the way. He says, why are you choosing hate when there's so much beauty to live for? You know, the scars? The stars, the sky, the trees, hell, even us. their
Beautiful.
bond. Yeah, their friendship. This moment, it all matters. And Gary's like, fine, it matters, but I'm still gonna kill him. And then he looks at some family at the side of the road and calls them pigs. He's like, they're just waiting for us to be blown away. Now, this is one of the things that is missing from the book, is that the streets were lined with people who were bloodthirsty and wanted them to see them dead. And they would like walk with them and stuff like this. Here, we're just showing like a family. It looks like a down and out family, doesn't it? Because it's in the middle of nowhere. So almost in this version, no one lives where they are.
No, but I think that was made clear. They're like, oh, and also no one's televised until right at the end when there's only a couple left.
Yeah. Then he's handing out the wisdom still. He's like, your wish means nothing if you don't care about that family. Vengeance is not enough. Then there's a rainbow, and Pete's like, hell now. That's something to be grateful for. And they walk towards that rainbow. Keep reaching for that rainbow, fellas.
One of you's going to be dead.
That's the message
soon.
of this movie. Look, I get it. Like, at its core, Heathen is about the way we all treat each other on a global scale, like bomb each other to death, torture each other, just cause harm to each other. And what the hell are we doing? This is doing it, but it's sappy. It's so sappy, and it's all dialogue led. I just like show things here and there.
A shit here,
It's
twisted ankle there.
Absolutely horrible. Yeah, lots of
Some
shit.
good
But I mean,
gunshots
for God's sake, a
and stuff.
rainbow. This is supposed to be a horror film, and they're musing over rainbows. And then it's like, you ever had a brother, Garrity? Gary's like, no, I sure never had a brother. And Pete's like, me neither. I think later on they're gonna confirm themselves as brothers.
They do.
Not blood brothers, not biological brothers, but brothers.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering when he first asked that. I was like, is he asking if he's racist, or is he asking if he's got a biological sibling?
And then in this tender moment, Pete's like, you want to walk with me a while, Garrity? He's like, I do, Pete. And they keep walking. Mile 201 now, Olsen is now cacked his britches. So it must be his energy bars that Garrity was giving him. Garrity helps him. But then he snaps and he goes and he runs toward the guards who are on the tanks, grabs one of their guns and gets himself shot in the stomach. And he starts shouting, I did it wrong! What did he do wrong?
The game? The walk?
The fact that he even joined? Possibly? Because for something that's missing from the book is one of the kids on the walk, he gets blown away because he tries to steal a kiss from a beautiful girl on the side of the road. You know, he's got to live for his last moment, he's a virgin. And it's then said, oh, Olsen, he made a stupid mistake, he was here, he was the only one of us who was married. And they're like, he wasn't married. He goes, no, he admitted it. It's a guy called, I think he's called Raven, who is the native guy. I think that's his name. I don't think about Lady Raven still. Anyway, the native guy, he says, yeah, Olsen told us that he was married at the bus garage or whatever.
Right.
He had a woman. The rest of them haven't got a woman.
Right.
You know, it's a big thing. They don't have the tender love, the tender touch of a woman. And that's an important thing. That's something to live for.
And they're not leaving
Olsen
behind
had
a
it,
wife.
and yet he still volunteered for the long walk. Not smart.
Right,
He did it wrong. That's what I was kind of getting from it. If I'm taking anything from it, it was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, only one with a wife. And then all the lads, because they're all good-hearted, it's of course led by Pete. Let's make a promise. Because he had a wife, whoever wins, let's give his wife some money so that she's looked after okay. And he asks everybody if they're in. He even breaks the native guy, who's been like pretty solid up until now. He's like, fine, I'm in. Barkovich is walking with him, and he gets upset because he's not been asked to be a part of the giving crew. So he kind of like, he partners up next to Garrett, he doesn't. He's like, hey, you know, I didn't mean for Rank to die, and I swear I would love to be asked to give to Olsen's wife. Gary sorts it out for him.
Yeah, it's about forgiveness.
It is about forgiveness. And Barkovich even makes a speech. He was like, you know, I never really fit in with anyone in school, and I was always just showing off to try and get friends and stuff like this. But, you know, we realise he's not really a bad guy either. He's not a bad guy. But he is starting to snap. He's starting to snap, and he snaps quickly, runs in front of everyone, gets a shard, and ends himself. Because he would rather die on his feet than live on his knees. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stebbins, remember Stebbins?
Yeah.
He's now come down with the flu. You know, this is the worst time to come down with the flu. And he says he hasn't been sick in 10 years, and now during this whole walk he's been dealing with that. If he's got real flu, which I had one time, there's no way you can't do it. You just can't do it.
Well, it doesn't say it's a flu. You might just have a cold.
That's what he's acting though. He's not acting. Cold is too minimal.
Not when you've already been walking for 3 days without rest.
No, I'm not having it. You got to have something to envision. I was thinking to myself, what would I envision to make sure that I made it to the end of this walk? And I was thinking, I just thought of you.
Oh.
I was like, Karen, that's what I think of. And then, yeah, I don't need no bullshit conversation. The rest of them can talk, like you said. I'll conserve my energy, and all those fuckers can die, and we'll be reunited. Screw them. Then I'll be bestowed in riches and a wish. I get to meet a genie.
Johnny's wish is for a robot clone of me.
I thought you were going to say a robot Josh Hartnett then. Because that's what I thought it was going to happen.
It was tying into that.
I didn't think there were any robots in this movie. At least that's something.
Just Peter.
It's mile 260 now, and it's my favourite part because lived a miner, 49er, and his girl named Clementine. What's that from?
I don't know. Some old something.
No. Hobie in Baywatch season 3
It's
episode
not.
1.
You are so dumb.
He has to
This
find
song
the clues
is not from
to a map.
Baywatch. Yeah, but the song exists already, and they happen to use it in both this film and in Baywatch. It's
The
not
song
from
didn't
Baywatch.
exist in my world until I heard it in Baywatch, sung by Hobie.
Oh right, I understand now. It's your world, so that's the only world that matters.
It's a two-part special that opens in season 3, and we get to see Pamela Anderson play the saxophone by the river rapids.
That is not important.
And kidnappers are trying to take Hobie away from David Hasselhoff, but
We're not
he's having none of it.
reviewing Baywatch. So back to my 49er song with the guys all singing
It's
it.
now mile 278, day 5, right? And they just keep walking. Garrity's lost his shoes. Now look, you said you can't walk with a cold. You certainly can't walk without his shoes, can you?
You said that. I didn't say anything.
Anyway, you can't walk without your shoes. I didn't say cold, I
not
said
for long.
flu, real flu. By the way, Judy Greer's at the side of the road. What's she doing there? Because she puts off Garrity, that's his mum. Garrity runs to her, gives her a hug. He's almost staying too long. He's like, warning number 195, warning number 2. And he's almost there, but Pete, luckily, wrenches him away from his mum. And Garrity realises that he's made the same mistake that his father did all them years ago. He succumbed to hate. And it took him away
Is that
from...
what his father did?
And it took him away from his love.
But this was so stupid because, he's going over to his mum being like, I'm so sorry. And he's sorry because he's basically sentenced himself to death, so she's going to lose him as well as her husband.
Yeah, he's
But he's doing it himself because he's just there hugging her saying, I'm sorry, when they're like, oh, you're about to be shot.
He's joined the walk to kill the major who killed his dad. And his dad could have just made the decision to be like, okay, look, I'm going to pretend in my head to just join
Like
the
I
oppressive
said,
regime.
just
At
say
least
the
then
words.
I get to, see out my life with my wife and my child. Hot-headed decision. Yeah. Also, now you got Pete's giving more of the wisdom because Garrity, he said he'd had enough. Pete said to him, well, you've only been walking 5 days. I've been walking my entire life because he was left by his parents at 5 years old and he's been through hardship.
I think the idea is that everyone has been there, hasn't it?
Pete's the kind of guy, he simplifies life. He's like the Long Walk's Bubba from Forrest Gump. He's got the wisdom. Without knowing or not possibly. And Garrity then says to him, you know what? You sure do find the light, Pete. I don't have that. And Pete's like, you know what I could use right now? A brother. When this is all over, go home to your mama and choose love. Now it's mile 306. There's another agreement to be made. Let's not help each other anymore, is what Stebbins said. So we're getting towards the end. And someone does ask the question, though, what about the Musketeers? Because they are the Musketeers. Are they just going to break up? And Parker is the native. He then does an Olsen, makes a run for the guard. Actually managed to steal the gun though, blows away a guard, just stops for ages when he could have blown away the other one on top of the tank as well, and instead he gets himself shot, but he's not dead yet. Because he's a native and he's dying, he starts chanting, and then he's going to die on his own terms. He gets his rifle and blows himself through the head.
Yeah, well, they would have left him with just a shot through the belly, so that makes sense.
Mile 324. Art has now got internal hemorrhaging through his nose. That's going to be the end of him. He's like, I'm going home, meaning heaven, hopefully. And Pete says to him, don't worry about dying. You gave it your all. And you know what? You even made some friends.
Oh, yeah, so now it's okay.
Now it's all right, yeah. And Gary's like, yeah, that's true.
But they're also like, oh, we're not going to help anyone. But they're dragging him along for ages.
Yeah. Pete also likes to tell him, you've been a hell of a friend. Because this is all about friends, isn't it? And Art, he's got one last wish. Well, he hasn't one. He shouldn't really get a wish, should he? But he asks.
It's a request.
He asks Pete and Garrity, whoever wins, take this locket and give it to my grandma. And one of them was like, "You got it, compadre." Wow, brotherhood, man. And also, when I die, don't watch him do it. He doesn't want him to have any more trauma. Mile 326, that's the spirit, flex that sack. There are some good words from the Major, good words of encouragement there, flex the sack. Let me know how big your cojones are.
However many days walking, I don't think you're going to be flexing anything.
It's only now Stebbins, Garrity, and Pete left. Because there's been some other geezers who had massive specs on. He got the really bad ankle, didn't he? Like, really twisted ankle. He couldn't take it anymore, so he got blown away. Because of the last three of them, Stebbins been a bit stoic through the whole walk. They say to him, look, our time is coming to an end. Say something real. And Stebbins says something along the lines of, I am the rabbit who is chased by the greyhound. Something like that, right?
Yeah, it's talking about, obviously, greyhound racing, and they've got the fake thing. And it turns out that he...
reveal.
Is the big commander's son.
Yes, he's the son of the Major.
Yeah.
Not the commander. The Major, and apparently the Major's got a whole bunch of other bastards as well.
He'd just be rutting.
Yeah, so his wish would just be to invite it into his family home.
That's lame.
Because even Stebbins has got the joy down inside him.
But why would you want to hang out with that guy when he's a piece of shit?
He decides, Stebbins, that he is going just to end it here. And he's like, I'm glad that if I was going to walk, I got to walk with you two. It's been a pleasure. That kind of stuff. It's been an honour, Stebbins. Now it's only Garrity and Pete. Because Stebbins just decides to stop and he's blown away. Garrity and Pete, the only guarantee is that you die. And if you're lucky, you get to choose how to spend those last moments. Very true. Very true. Finally, by mile 331, the crowds are out now. They've reached a part of town where the people are actually living there. They're called the diehards. Pete gets on his knees when he reaches the crowds. And he's just going to be the one blown away. But Garrity runs up to him and he stops him from doing it. Pete's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm doing what a brother would do. And this really gets to the soul of Pete. He's like, you convincing motherfucker. Because he knew brotherhood would get Pete, didn't he? And then instantly, though, Garrity is blown away. And as he's on his knees, Pete's like, why? Why'd you do it, Garrity? And Garrity is like, because you got the joy. And it makes me love you, my brother. Say hello to my mother. He's blown away.
It's not that sorry then, really, is he? But also, you asked me quite early on, you're
cry?
like, oh, who's going to win? And I got the right guy. Even though they were painting it to be Garrity, because he's supposedly, like, our main guy.
God, this is a 2025 movie. There's only one survivor. Pete, decides that he's going to do Garrity's wish. In his honour, he asks for the gun. He's like, oh, you'll be given a gun. He's like, no, I want that one so I can give it to my kids later on. He's like, give him the gun. He's not going to do anything, but of course he does. And he blows away the Major. And then what are we expecting to happen then? Because it ends.
Yeah, well, I assumed as soon as he actually shot the Major, at least one of the guys who's there supposedly protecting him would have just reacted and shot him back. But that doesn't happen. He seems to be allowed to just kind of walk off. And the way they shot it, again, was that like the road just stretches on and he's going to keep walking.
He is, because the moral of the story is keep on trucking. And that's what Pete is all about. But I think because they had a minor conversation earlier on about how it's uncharted territory if a winner, blows away. Because you're a winner, apparently that bestows upon you almost like, I don't know, probably immunity essentially from this, that and the other. So he probably could blow away the Major and it would make a major statement with the masses and he'd be allowed to stay out politically. That's how it works. So this, number 2, I could have easily put it bottom just because of the cheese. Cheesiest dialogue, cheesiest script I've ever gone through.
I just thought it was kind of boring.
It did. It was a little bit boring, but it wasn't as boring as what it probably could have been.
No. Like I said, nothing was technically bad for me.
The headshot's good, and also completely skipped over a bit. A guy gets his legs run over by a tank. That was pretty good as well. Not great, but good in the context of this film. So let's talk about good, not great. Number 1 for both of us, Final Destination Bloodlines. So we know what we're going to get. It's going to be the same thing rehashed, but possibly in a slightly different way. And it opens because, we've got a musical history with Final Destination. It pre-tells what's going to happen. We open with Creedence Clearwater Revival, modern adult pop music, followed by Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. So you're straight away says, someone's going to be on fire. Someone's going to be on fire. And we're introduced to this couple at what looks to be the Space Needle, the CGI Space Needle. And it's Iris and Paul. They get inside the Space Needle. They're ready for a hot date. They're a young couple. They get into an elevator first thing. And the hotel porter He says, "Oh, don't worry about this because the doors don't shut properly. He has to shut the elevator doors himself, even though it's a new Space Needle." And you think straight away, then something's going to happen in the elevator, unless you're me. Like, no, nothing's going to happen here.
Well, that was
Red herring.
the theme of this whole thing. They know that we've watched all the previous Final Destinations. They're playing on all of those tropes that they always put in when something's about to happen. And they keep being like, psych! Because they're like, oh, the elevator's going to crash. No, it's not.
There's a little shit in the elevator. He was jumping up and down on the glass floor, tempting fate. Then our Paul and Iris, they arrive at the party. They get to the front, and they're not allowed in because apparently he doesn't have a reservation. But don't worry, let's just sneak over here and seem to go unnoticed completely.
Yeah, if you do something with confidence, you can often get away.
There's musical entertainment as well. Lots of musical entertainment happening. One of the singers, she can tell that Iris is pregnant. We just put you out the room so he didn't destroy the sound on this. This woman knows that Iris is pregnant. Iris goes outside onto the roof terrace with Paul, and she's like, something you should know about me, I'm pregnant, because he just proposed to her, then she admits it. Yeah, he's like, don't worry about it, I'm even more psyched now and I can't wait to marry you. And the little shit is throwing pennies off of the roof. And this penny manages to get into the mechanisms of this new Space Needle, and stuff's gonna happen.
This penny is incredibly strong. Have you noticed all the things that it manages to do without bending?
Yeah. On the dance floor though, shouts being played. Everybody's doing the same dance move, and they're stomping, not very smartly, on the glass floor. Everyone's stomping their feet on the glass floor. We start to see it give way, crack, and of course, it does give way. Everyone starts falling out of it, hitting their heads on the pylons below. Things like this. Someone gets set on fire by a wok. So that's the Ring of Fire bit. I thought it was going to be bigger fire.
Well,
during
it
the
exploded,
musical
didn't it?
It did, but I was still expecting more. Yeah, not just someone set on fire by a wok.
Then a big explosion, so about like half the people have fallen through the floor or been incinerated. Now we've still got half the people just running around like crazy.
The piano slides towards a woman who's up against the wall. She gets annihilated by it, and the piano falls all the way to the ground where it splodges the little shit. Yeah. Of course, Iris is left. She's hanging from the side of the building, but not before she spotted a little black baby. It's important that we mention this little black baby. Who could that be, I wonder? And she's holding onto the side of the building, but her finger's caught in between like two nail things, and her skin slides off, which is quite Hellraiser 2-ish. That was good. So they were a little. I wasn't expecting death by flaming wok. So yeah, I did like that. The opening. It's what you expect nowadays, the big set piece kind of thing.
It was very drawn out though compared to usual.
It was. They seem to draw it out more and more the longer it goes on, the film series goes on. Too CGI heavy for my liking. Of course there's CGI in the first one when the plane explodes, but it's minimal compared to what everything else is going on. So that's the only kind of thing I had that, because we know what we're going to get now. And of course as Iris falls, she gets impaled. And it opens, it's the lead character's dream, and she wakes up in class, the lead character Stephanie, and she goes home after this dream. She starts wanting to ask about her mum. She's got a brother called Charlie. Mm-hmm. Charlie's going to their cousin's house, and as they're going up to the house, she's like, promise not to tell Dad, but I keep having these dreams about Iris. She's been asked not to ask about Auntie Iris, by the way, but she goes to the cousin's house. Then they get there.
She's also on academic probation.
She is on academic probation. I'm not sure why that was important throughout the movie.
Well, it's just to say how much this dream is affecting her life, because she's normally a straight A student, but she can't sleep or get over this dream.
Right. Unnecessary, really.
It's showing why she's being so adamant about pursuing it. Because, yeah.
They get to their cousins. I've seen cock blocking before. But I'm not sure I've ever seen sibling blocking, because when Charlie walks into the room, clearly he hasn't seen Stephanie, his sister, in a while, and his cousin Jude is like all over him, like, hey bro, tell me how this and that went the other week, and this kind of Stephanie's just standing there like all sad face because her cousin's got more of a bond with her brother than she has. Sibling blocking. Because Stephanie's there for one thing, she needs to talk to her Uncle Howard and his mum Iris. Right, and so she brings up these nightmares, even though she's been told not to, and you can tell by their faces that they know something about it. They finally snap and they say, Iris, she's disturbed and she's obsessed about dying in horrific ways. For your own safety, stay away from Iris. But the step-aunt isn't as concerned, so she's like, bottom drawer cabinet, there's some pictures and book things that you'll find. And she finds it, and then she finds her way to Iris's house. And for someone who's quite scared of death, her house seems quite dangerous.
It does, doesn't was exactly what I was thinking. I was like, not only, I mean, I guess she never leaves the house, so the outside isn't as important, but even, like, when she was constructing this place, she would have had to deal with all these spikes and wires and stuff. I was like, I just don't...
Yeah, because the whole point is she can't step outside without dying, but how is she meant to be outside with all of this dangerous apparatus around her?
Well, we later find out she had some help, but it doesn't seem like it would be the best help in existence.
No, she's trepidatiously invites Stephanie into the house, which is like, don't come too close because Death thinks that I'm taking my eye off it and it's going to be distracting, it can take me out. Stephanie's in there. Iris acts a bit loopy. She's been locked up for 20 years. She's got this book about how to survive death. It's all learned from her experiences, stuff like that. And it turns out that Stephanie's dream was actually Iris's premonition. That was Iris's Devon Sawyer moment because she was the one at the Space Needle.
Yeah, I was going to say that was one bit that was a tiny bit different, was that they showed us this long, dramatic, awful occasion, but they didn't actually then go back straight away and be like, how'd she fix it?
How do we do it straight away?
Because I guess, like I said, the one thing I can appreciate about this film is that they do realise, like, this is the 6th instalment. Like, we're going to, 1, poke fun at ourselves a little bit, and 2, give you exactly what you know is going to happen, but try and...
I wish it had gone the other way. This is the 6th instalment, but it's been a long break since the last one. We could have done like the first one and written characters that you actually care about, and then you could have more gruesome deaths rather than absolutely everything being pitched for comedy in this. That you can't do comedic death so much in the first one. You think about the guy gets strangled and tied up in his own bathroom. That's quite graphic and grim, that one. And because there's more time, or it's just better done writing the characters in Final Destination than what it is. They have to die comically in this because you don't give a damn about anyone in the family. Like, this one of the worst lead characters out of the Final Destination series. She's no Devon Sawyer, is she?
No, I don't remember which one. There is another lead character that I just can't stand, but this one,
I think it was
quite
from
annoying.
number 3 possibly, which is my second
I know it was
favourite.
another female lead.
Yeah, it might be her. Iris has got cancer now, so she's got a theory that possibly because I've got cancer, the curse has jumped to you, and you're going to get done by death now. She goes a bit too mental, and she spooks Stephanie, tries to leave the house, but Iris wants to give her the scrapbook, so she managed to venture out into her front garden, gives Stephanie the book, and she's like, to make you believe, you have to see it. So she's like, just wait, and she gets impaled from the side of the head. Funny.
Also, she spent all this time not dying to protect her descendants, and now just to prove a point, she's like, yeah, alright then.
Yeah, screw that. You've got the scrapbook now. You're young. You can avoid death better than I can because I'm old now. At the funeral, the mum Darlene shows up. Darlene hasn't been around Stephanie and the kids because she was too traumatised by her mother Iris, who was putting all these ideas about death coming for her in her head. And she's arrived in a camper van, and that's important to know. Now it's time for a barbecue, and the Pina Colada song is playing because, you know, it's all just too self-aware, isn't it? Can't take anything seriously. Darlene's been invited, but she almost poisons one of the kids because she's put peanut butter in the cookie mix.
She's thoughtless.
Is it Bobby, the blonde guy, that takes the cookie? Because he is allergic to peanut butter. So is the whole family allergic to peanut butter then?
No. It's the Stephanie's younger brother who eats it.
Charlie.
And he's like, oh, is there peanut in this? And she goes, yeah. And Bobby takes a step back and someone else is like, well, you know Bobby's allergic, right?
Right, yeah, because in my head, I can see Bobby looking on at all this and like being scared of peanut butter. But the way they were asking Charlie, I thought also Charlie had a peanut butter thing. So he was like, stop. Why isn't he eating? He hasn't got a peanut butter allergy.
I think it just cut away from him.
Stupid. No, he was like, just swallow it. You haven't got a peanut butter allergy. So it's Bobby with the peanut butter. Now Bobby, if it wasn't one thing is enough, you're in a Final Destination movie and you could get got by peanut butter, he's now trampolining above some tools.
Yeah.
Sharp tools. That's not very smart. Everyone's also drinking ice water and there's loads of crunchy ice sounds to build the atmosphere.
Because we saw the smashed glass go into it.
Darlene, though, she sees this rake underneath the trampoline, removes it. We think danger's over, but someone spills a drink. Somehow, like a glass shard gets on the floor. Uncle steps on it. Then he's lawnmower to the face.
It was so stupid.
It's like that Killer Lawnmower movie we watched, possibly called Killer Lawnmower.
So stupid.
Every death is comical, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has to be. None of it is taken seriously. To its detriment, somewhat, I would say. I'm so sick of this ultra comedic stuff. Again, it's not really a horror. I wasn't actually bored for this movie. I don't regret watching it, but I still probably think it's the worst Final Destination. where this is the highest rated Final Destination. So compare this to Final Destination 1 from the year 2000 with Sean William Scott and everybody, Stifler. The highest ranking that got from mainstream critics was a 58. The lowest this one got was a 60. This doesn't make any sense. This is nowhere near as good as the first one. Why are we living in this era of such, talking everything up so much? At least the critics anyway. It must be paid. It's got to be paid. It's time for Stephanie to make a plan. Because you make plans in Final Destination movies, don't you? Remember when Devon Sawa got the blueprints from the airplane and all that, and he worked out where Death was going to go to? She's doing the same thing, but she presents this plan to her family, and none of them believe her. They all think she's wacko.
Whereas it's actually the plan that Iris put together, and then she just collaged it.
But she's confident enough as to believe it. It's like, yeah, I'm going to show this to my family, even though it's nutty.
But also, her performance at this point onwards started to get really annoying. And
She
was
was
I'm not
an annoying
surprised
performance.
that no one is buying it, because you're just not... You're not selling it to anyone.
No. Really, really bad lead performance, I thought, in this.
And also just, overly emotionally dramatic.
Yeah. There were parts where the movie really dragged for me. If it wasn't a kill every 10 minutes, then it just... I can't watch it.
This was almost the opposite of The Long Walk, because there was nothing deeper to it, but it was constant action.
I would say it wasn't constant action. Like I said, I got bored. It's kind of it manipulates you into thinking that it's constant action, but then you realise there are bits where it's just talk about nothing / stuff that we already know from knowing the rules from the original one. Time for Eric. He's one of the siblings. He's piercing a tongue at a tattoo shop. It's his last job of the day because now he's got to close up. And while he's closing up, he pumps the metal music because this is a tattoo shop and he's a tattooist. He starts cleaning. The ceiling fan starts going. There are bubble heads on the side, so we know that something's going to happen. But because Eric's dad just recently died, he switches to his sad mix on Spotify, and that song I Can't Live If Living Is Without You comes on. That's funny. And then he tats himself
within 2 seconds.
Yes,
he's gone barely through a chorus, and he's got this big fat tattoo saying "Dad" on his arm. That is quick work.
yeah, outlining, the shading, all done. Also, there's a chain in there. There's just this random chain hanging. Because he's a tattooist, of course, he's got a nose ring. This chain manages to get into his nose ring. Did it just enter his nose ring? Nothing really kicks into place for it to happen.
The chain was attached to the ceiling, came off the ceiling, swung down, attached to his nose ring, and then was caught up in the blades of the fan.
Yeah, but I was more asking just how did the chain get there in the first place. But yeah,
it
like
was
you said,
from the ceiling and then flicked down.
Okay, cool. I guess, yeah, so he does get wrapped up in it, and there's a fire as well. We think that's the end of him, and then the next morning, Stephanie's driving her car, not concentrating, and she also almost runs him over. Eric's here. Turns out he was wearing his leather, so his leather saved him from the fire. How does leather save you from fire? If I just wear leather pants and leather jacket, am I fireproof?
No, but I guess it would be less quick to take than if you just fell down in cotton.
It just seems very much like I was wearing my leather. Now here I am. So now that he survived this death, a speeding postal van goes behind him, it's referencing people getting smushed to pieces, isn't it, by postal vans and buses and stuff like that. Stephanie's not taking too kindly to this. She's like, look, you need to be careful. There's a bloke over there with a leaf blower. There are some kids also playing football. He's like, what's that got to do with anything? She says, well, the leaf blowing man could trip over and put leaves everywhere. Dirt could get in the kids' eyes. They could kick a football into your face. We're supposed to laugh at this. Then a garbage truck pulls up and he's like, uh-oh, what's going to happen if I go to the garbage truck? Stephanie's like, no, don't do it. He fannies around by the garbage truck. For some reason, Julie, the cousin, runs off. The leaf blower man falls on the floor. She gets hit in the head by a football and into a garbage truck. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I love how you said for some reason she's literally in jogging clothes. So that's why. But yeah, the garbage truck thing was so dumb.
It's like, I'm just going to start my jog now.
It's supposed to obviously be misleading because we believe Stephanie, don't we? So we know that it's the older brother, the nose ring guy, who's supposed to go first. So we're not expecting that the sister would go, but it really wasn't that unexpected.
It wasn't unexpected whatsoever. I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like, yeah.
But that's how they're painting it, is what I mean.
And
it obviously wasn't.
Just the whole thing of Stephanie explaining, this could happen to you and then have it happen to Julian, a football to the face into a garbage truck, which really just wasn't funny. It's very try hard these days, isn't it? Everything is so try hard. When you think there's the subtlety of the comedy in the first one, especially with Sean William Scott's character, especially the scene where he's at the funeral and he's asking Devon Sawyer like about his driving test and stuff like that. It's just nicely put in there. This, none of that, nothing is subtle. Anyway, it turns out this happened because Eric is a bastard. He's not a biological son of the family, so he's not part of the bloodline. And it turns out his dad is done with someone called Jerry Fenbury, who we don't get to see, and Eric's not very happy about this, and he runs out like a...
Well, he is a bit of a bitch.
He is a little bit, yeah. That's what. But do you get it though? He's all tattooed and pierced because he's an illegitimate child. He's the runt of the litter. That's why he's tattooed and stuff. Hollywood imagery.
Or have you just made that up?
No, how do you not get that? It's like a trope, isn't it? Never mind. So of course this has messed up Death's timeline because there's a bastard in the timeline. Bobby works out now. Peanut Butter Boy, he's to be next. So everyone looks through the survival book that Iris has given him. Someone called JB is mentioned, and everyone hot-tails it off to the hospital in the camper van. And when they arrive at the hospital, people ask for RB. And it's the JB. And it's the best moment of the movie. By far. This is the best part of the movie. Tony Todd. It just is the best part of the film.
He has got, did have, rest in peace, so much charisma.
He is the man. I love Tony Todd.
He looks so different in this. He's so skinny.
Well, of course he was ill.
Yeah.
But Candyman, as we all know, but a true icon of horror cinema. I'm not really interested in Candyman if it hasn't got Tony Todd in the lead role. He's just so good. And again, in this, he's so good. And he got that whole thing where he got to say his own little thing at the end of his speech, and even though it doesn't quite fit in with the tone of what Final Destination is about, it was good. My hair's even standing up on now thinking about it. I did enjoy it. Tony Todd, not the best part of the movie for you then?
I never said he wasn't.
Mr. Bloodworth. Yeah, you did say he was. I got so excited about the Tony Todd moment that I did just skip over a little bit, because in the ride in the camper van down there, Stephanie and her mum Darlene has been missing for 20 years because she's been traumatised by her own mother. They have it out and they are heart to heart. And it ends with Darlene saying, "Well, I'm here now." Well, that's just not good enough, is it?
No, it's a pretty lame excuse. Oh, if I'd been around, I would have made your life as bad as mine was.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Eric and Bobby now have a comedy conversation in the hospital. Eric has an idea, but guess what? It's nuts. Because, Bobby's allergic to nuts, so they go to a vending machine and he's about to get him some nuts, but Bobby wants peanut butter cups instead. So if I'm going to have nuts, get me that stuff. But of course, it sticks in the machine. Eric cracks the glass in anger, and then they both start manhandling it, and a spring comes loose. Yeah. Then they go into a room and they set off this giant suction computer.
Suction computer? I'm pretty sure it's some kind of... I don't know if it's MRI or it's some kind of scanner.
It's a suction computer.
But they managed to somehow push it into overdrive, and it turns on extreme magnetic power.
Yeah, but it doesn't show all its power at once because they're going to go through their plan first. Eric sits down with Bobby. He's like, "I'm going to be right here with you. You're going to eat this peanut butter cup and die, and then we're going to confuse death, and I'll bring you back to life, and everything's going to be fine." But when he starts eating the peanut butter cups, he starts to get a little bit... He starts to choke. Even though Eric's been like, "Don't worry, I won't let you die." It's quite an emotional moment that they have before this. Turns out, because he's a tattooist and a body piercer, Eric also has, apart from his nose ring, he's got nipple rings, and we see the erect nipples come through the shirt, and ping! They're into the suction machine.
And his cock ring.
And his cock ring, yeah.
This reminds me of the one with the two girls in the sun tanning beds. It's just so silly. It's so silly. Just seeing these bits flying off his body.
So because he's got this metal stuck to him, he gets sucked into the machine's hole. The wheelchair which Bobby's been sitting in comes behind him, and he's kind of like melded with the spokes and stuff of the wheelchair. Why it's like, pretty good.
But is it 100% medically accurate?
Well, this isn't the human centipede, so it doesn't need to be. A nurse hears all the commotion, opens the door, and all her stuff pings, and Bobby has managed to somewhat get away, but then the loose spring from the vending machine comes flying into Bobby's head, smashes him into the suction machine, and also starts to drill into his head, doesn't it?
Yeah, not bad.
Again, not bad. Really not bad. I thought I was gonna not enjoy this movie as much as I did. Not that I loved it, but
No.
it was passable, good enough.
Yeah, at least the only thing is I've said this in another way already, but that it didn't take itself too seriously. And I know what you're saying, that it could have been done so much more justice, but I would have hated it more if it had tried to do something really serious and just been as shit as most things are these days.
The thing is, you just said it yourself, no one can write anything which is at face value anymore. You know, you do, at least I did, I cared about the characters in number one. You know, I didn't particularly want any of them to die. And also, even though they die in elaborate ways, it's so reined in compared to what we get, you know, probably from 3 onwards, really.
Well,
but now it's amped up completely, and it's just because they can't do anything worthwhile with the story of the characters that you have to go this way, I suppose. We're just left now with Stephanie and Charlie, brother and sister. No more Julia to sibling block between them because she's been done for in a garbage truck. Wasn't it mentioned that her face gets crushed in that? That was also pretty good. There's all this weird wind going around Iris's house, which is where they've gone to end this whole thing. And it's an homage back to when Ali Larter's character in the first one, in her workshop, she has all those monstrosities hanging around and blowing in the wind, doesn't she? We have the other throwbacks in this, don't we? Logs, pylons, the speeding car, obviously. Or truck, should I say. Weird wind chimes. The camper van is there. They've gone in the camper van. I'm not quite sure what happens. I've written now, the camper van drowns, the house explodes. What happens between all that?
Okay, so the whole point is that if they get the mum at least into the house, she'll be safe. And as long as she doesn't die, Death won't come for the 2 kids. But that doesn't work. Death got his own plans. And yeah, the camper gets knocked over. So the girl is stuck in her seatbelt underwater somewhat. The gas that was in the house, which by the way didn't seem that safe because there were quite a few things going wrong.
As the penny set this off as well, because the penny does more than just the space needle, doesn't it?
Oh, well, the penny also psychs them out at one point by stopping the train tracks from fully going, so the train starts crashing towards them.
That's after this, isn't it? Yeah.
The penny has so much to do. But yeah, I don't remember exactly why it explodes, but that's mum, we think, gone. The brother is stuck under some, like, broken wood. But then, lo and behold, Mama is strengthened
Mama darling.
by the pain of her son and manages to free him and is like, go and save your sister. I was like, God, you're both taking absolutely ages, considering she's in a turned over truck underwater.
You're talking about absolutely ages. Both this and Long Walk could have been cut by 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Certainly. Why is everything so long these days? Everything's approaching 2 hours / over 2 hours. The movies we did last week were all over, and they're not worth it. I mean, sinners.
And I also see shots and I'm like, if you're going to make a movie this long, at least make every shot, like, beautiful if it's not actually helping the story. No. And they're not doing that either. It's just...
Now that Charlie and Stephanie have saved themselves and the mum has sacrificed herself, I was kind of sad for them because they're not going to get to inherit the camper van. You know, she's just shown up. She hasn't got many possessions, I'd imagine. The only thing she does have is the camper van. That's drowned. So they're left with nothing to start again. But now, you know, it's happier times. Time has moved on. They're walking through town.
Oh wait, we haven't said the most important bit. Stephanie, she...
knows all the chorus.
That came to my head. When she's been underwater and her brother's come to rescue her, he's actually had to revive her.
Yes,
so she was, you know, drowned, I guess, and then he saved her life. So
but
they're
then,
like, we've broken the curse.
Yes, and now it is those happier days I was about to talk to before you rightly interrupted me, and they somehow managed to bump into a doctor who explains to them, actually, you didn't technically die, so now the penny that's got into the train tracks from the very beginning shot of the movie as well, trains come in, train comes off the tracks through town, they've got to run away from it. It's like a Roland Emmerich movie, you know, like Independence Day or something, isn't it? They managed to just stop short of the train getting them, but as they kind of like either turn around or make their way again, out comes a log, out comes a pylon to decimate their heads. And Finn. It was the best movie of the week. It's also the reason I left it till last. I thought it was going to be one that I enjoyed the most, and it was. Because
I do think it was the most entertaining. You have to realise that, you know, you can't go into this expecting quality.
No.
But it was entertaining, and I would say I'd definitely watch it again, but I did find Stephanie very annoying.
No, I probably wouldn't watch it again because there's enough Final Destination to choose from that if I was going to watch it, I'm going to number 1, then I'm going to number 3, so forth, kind of thing. I think even though I didn't like the way number 2 was presented as always in the daytime, like open fields and stuff, I'm still not sure I'd put this one above that even. And I really don't enjoy number 2. I do enjoy Final Destination as a franchise. And this is probably one of the first ones that they've brought back after a while and haven't completely tanked it like they do with everything else. So there is some kind of kudos in that, I suppose. And I would watch the next one, you know, coming along, certainly. But I wish I'd just go for something with a bit more story and a bit more tone, rather than just, oh, we have nothing, so we're just going to give you comedy, slapstick, essentially.
We're going to make fun of ourselves.
It's been done to death anyway.
But not that well.
Yeah, not that well. So, yeah.
Well, anyway, 3 movies, none of which I hated, which is a nice change, but none of which were stunning either.
I hate the music in The Trap.